Good morning. Glad you could join us. Hey, I'm going to be sharing some thoughts that come from the book Glory Days by Max Lucado. I remember there was a preacher that I worked with a number of years ago, and he was a great guy. He had a unique way of saying obstacle. He called them obstacles. And he was my boss. I was not going to say, I think it's obstacle. No, obstacles. What are your obstacles today? So for Joshua, it was the wall of Jericho. How are you going to scale this wall? How are you going to do this? I love what it says in Psalm 18, verse 2. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength in whom I will trust, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Are you focusing on your wall of Jericho today? Or are you focusing on how powerful God is? So Joshua, he was the real deal. Okay, he was the protege of Moses, and he's your basic 5-star general. Okay, he's when he walked by 40,000 men, yes sir, they saluted him. His tent, that was basically the Oval Office. He was like the president and the 5-star general. Okay, he was everything. 2 million people looked to him for leadership, but when he came before God, here's how he responded. Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshiped. Who do you worship? How do you worship? When do you worship? You know, it's you don't always have to bow down. You don't always have to kneel. But when was the last time you did? I enjoy reading men and women that I know and admire, and they've touched my life through the things that they've written and they've spoke. But when I hear them talk about kneeling down, and Adam Hamilton's one who mentions that often, it changed me where it's like, you know what? I need to change my posture once in a while. And we never get so big that we can't bow down low before God. And if you need some assistance with that, you can figure it out. But we're never so strong or mighty or big or old that we don't need to worship. And the truth of the matter is we're going to worship something, and God knows that. And God invites us to worship. And I get a kick out of it when I hear some atheists say that how God's like a narcissist and he wants us to worship him, or he must be insecure. It's like, no, God understands the way he created us. We will worship something, and we become like whatever we worship. And so he invites us to worship him so that we can share in his divine nature. God understands that. God doesn't need your worship. You need to worship God. So whatever your Jericho is, whatever that wall is that's in front of you, don't try to tackle it before you bow before your commander. Let him remind you that he's got angels. The Bible tells us there's twice as many angels as there are those that work on the dark side. And I love what it says in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. I will never fail you. I will never abandon you. So your obstacle, it might be strong. But you know what? Jesus is stronger. The thing that's in front of you really might be intimidating. So let God be your strength today. God bless you. Have a great day.